Okay, so to me, detox is the opportunity to pull back the bow before you shoot the arrow. Most people right now, including many of you, are just in the too busy. You're just repeating what you did yesterday. You're perpetuating what you did yesterday into tomorrow. So you're not like pulling back the arrow, looking around, deciding exactly where you're going to point your energy and attention, right, into the future. And your clients are doing that too.
You are the well-being wisdom warrior, the heartfelt healer,
the luminary leader,
the health harbinger,
the shaman, the witch, the guru,
the guide of humanity to an embodied, enlightened future.
Welcome to the Well Pro Show, the podcast for wellness pros,
where your wellness lifestyle is your core leadership strategy.
Experience the camaraderie of collaborative colleagues,
where your job as a wellness pro is to guide the transformation.
You are the resistance, the future, the way forward.
You are the community counselor, the change maker.
The Well Pro Show, brought to you by futurist thought leader Kate Stillman and the team at Wellness Pro Academy. Made for you, by us.
All right, so there'll be people joining. I'm going to give us a few minutes before we start doing any slides and that sort of thing. I'd love to know in the chat just where you guys are at with, this is how to guide a detox. I imagine some of you have guided detoxes. I imagine some of you have guided things similar to detoxes. And I imagine some of you have no experience guiding detoxes at all and that we're a full range. So I just would love to know in the chat. It'll help me help us more if I know where you're at and what you're aspiring to do. Yeah. And if you can't use video, no problem. Yeah. So the question really at large is like, where are you at with guiding your own detox? What do you want to do? What have you already done? What are you thinking about? Where are you stuck? Where are you making progress? That'll all help me just in the chat. All right. So Brenda's saying yes. Yeah. Brenda's been a mentor in my detoxes for years. So thank you so much, Brenda, and looking to do her own a second time. In 10 days. Good. And Leslie's guided a few and want to become really good at guiding others. Good. So the question, we're just kind of warming up as people are dropping in on level of experience and what you're wanting to do in guiding a detox. I think the other question might be if you've guided detoxes, like how many people you want to have in your detoxes. And if you don't like the word detox and you like the word cleanse or rejuvenation, that's fine too. I've even marketed them as at-home retreats because I find that's really what they are. So to me, all those words we're going to interchangeably use for the word detox right now, which isn't really my favorite word to use for the process, but it is one that is, I think, more SEO, search engine optimization friendly right now. So we'll go with it. Okay, so let's see. Leslie has guided 50 plus detoxes. Great. Impressive. So Benita has been doing 2 a year for 5 years and helped others and would love to go deeper. Yeah, we'll talk about different types of detoxes too at some point in this, if that's helpful to you guys. Tarna is doing her first detox in May and April, guiding her first detox. Alicia usually guides one each spring and fall. Okay, awesome. Jennifer read Witch's Cancer Journal and is grateful. Thank you, Jennifer. Yay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm learning to receive. Avis hasn't done one, but has attended several. So those just joining in, we're just typing in the chat if you've guided a detox or not and what you're looking to do next. And really, I'd love to know what everybody's growing edge is in, whether it's guiding their first one or trying to increase their numbers or trying to bring people into maybe a more effective experience, or whether it's dealing with healing crises or all the things that can happen. The way this will go, I have limited myself to 43 slides, which those of you who have been to past Wellness Pro Academy slideshows know that's less than half that I usually do. So that means we'll have plenty of time, hopefully, if I do this right, for just Q&A at the end. Okay, so people want more numbers. Good. Increased numbers. Yeah. All right. So I'll also show you in here how we use detoxes, challenges, cleanses, resets, whatever you want to call them, as part of a business model. So I'll get into the business model that we coach at Wellness Pro Academy. I know over half of you seeing the faces here are already in Wellness Pro Academy. So yay, glad you're here for this. And those of you who aren't, the business model will be, I think, probably more helpful than you realize. So I'll just say that most people who are into wellness are not into business models, but unfortunately it's the business model that actually gets clients to results, which is fulfilling. That's really, really fulfilling. That's why you got into being a wellness pro in the first place. So I'll get into that as well. All right. So I think we are now here. I'm going to share a screen. I do share a screen in a way that is somewhat annoying. Just so you know, like I know I have the navigation bar up top and it's so that I can switch between slides. It's just the way my mind works better. So sorry about that, but bear with me and we'll have some fun with some slides. All right. So who here, I'm just curious too in the chat, like who here has actually gone through the ebook that went with this? It'll probably be helpful if someone on my team puts the link to the ebook in here because okay, good. So a bunch of you have seen that, a bunch of you have gone through it. We're really going to go into it today. And I have the chat open so that I can see what you guys are asking in real time. So you can we'll do this as a very informal chit chat type of a presentation. All right. So what I tried to do here is just show a bit of like what I've learned. So this is me. I've been doing this. I think the first Yogi Detox was not called the Yogi Detox. It was called the Spring Cleanse in 2002. It later became the Yogi Detox at yogidetox.com. I think are somewhere around, I don't know, I'm well over 50, just turned 51 years old yesterday, but I'm over 50 detoxes led. So I have some experience in the field. I feel like I have seen a lot. I've done big groups. I think our biggest group was over 300. I've done small groups. I'll show you. My first one had 6 people. So you've got to start somewhere. And for some people, you want to stay small, and that's fine. And that's fine too. So the reason I guide detoxes is because it works. I saw pretty early on in my career as an Ayurvedic medicine practitioner and as a yoga teacher that the habits that people would adopt during a 21-day detox became part of their internal operating system, meaning that like they got to very intimately know what worked for them because they'd have massive health breakthroughs and they were habit based. So to me, I teach detox as a habit. I teach it as in traditional Ayurvedic form, Ritu Charya, seasonal cleanse, as a seasonal habit. And then I teach daily rhythm habits within Ritu Charya. So to me, the question of why should you guide a detox? To me, with a detox, you can guarantee breakthroughs. And we're going to look at, there's way too many words on this page. We're going to look at what symptoms your clients have that diminish with detox. And to me, your why is going to really play into how many people you can guide in detox. It has to come through your marketing. It's got to come through like you understanding why people need to detox and what they can experience in a short period of time. Now, it's a peak experience so that we know like there's a lot that we're going to go through body symptoms, and all you're looking for in here is the symptoms that your clients, patients, students, I'll use those interchangeably, that your clients, patients, or students come to you the most. Like, what are you seeing repetitively, consistently? Are you seeing, and we're going to go first through body, then we're going to go through mental health, and then we're going to go through what I call soul symptoms. So body symptoms are usually the ones that people are, most coming to us with, where they're looking for like, how do I fix? They'll often use words like this, like, how do I fix this? Can you fix this for me? Allergies, and in allergies, we could also include like skin reactivity from the immune system, like ectopic dermatitis. So you've got allergies, asthma, ectopic dermatitis. There's like all sorts of skin issues. Cravings, right? People are just emotionally eating. They have cravings. They feel like they're out of control with what they want, and they know what they want isn't what they should want. And that differential is sort of driving them nuts. Willpower doesn't work. Thank you, Benjamin Hardy, for writing that book. We know that like there's a deeper issue. It's the issue in their tissues. In this case, it's usually the issue in their adipose tissue that's causing the craving. So I'm going to get a little bit into adipose tissue. I'm going to get just a tiny bit techie on what's happening in detox a little bit later down. Maybe you're working mostly with women, young women who have PMS, fibrocystic breasts, hard periods, maybe infertility. You're trying to get pregnant and can't. Maybe they just have general lymphatic issues like water retention, sinus congestion, postnasal drip, puffiness, like where they just feel like they look 10 years older when they wake up in the morning. Overeating, chronic overeating, weight creep, headaches, migraines, susceptibility to illness, flus, viruses. Like what we're seeing here is like every symptom under the sun, right? Every symptom that is tied to chronic inflammation that we'll get to in a minute. Maybe they're on high blood pressure medication. Maybe they want to increase their libido. Maybe they feel tired all the time or their energy's going down over time. Maybe they have stubborn belly fat, cellulite, man boobs, spare tires, difficulty sleeping, interrupted sleeping, all sorts of sleeping issues. Maybe they just feel like their joint pain is getting worse. They're stiff when they wake up. Maybe their digestion's off. That could be anything from bloated to constipated to heartburn to indigestion, bad breath, any of those things. And then the skin issues I already mentioned. So what is important for you often, especially for those of you who have smaller wellness businesses with a more targeted audience, is know exactly what symptoms that people are coming to most with that is annoying them the most. For example, in 2022, September of 2022, we launched a detox. We've launched detoxes with I feel like every targeted symptom. So we just did one on emotional eating and it had huge response. So we just picked one body symptom, emotional eating. Like they know they're emotionally eating, and we did an entire launch just around emotional eating, and it did really well. So then in that detox, we just targeted more around emotional eating. So one of the things that you'll see us do, which I don't advise you to do, is like market to all symptoms, right? Because it's like then people feel like you're not really talking to them. It's way too general. So most of you, especially if your business is under 100K, like the more targeted you are, the more effective your campaign is going to be. So I just like to see in the chat, like, what are the symptoms? What are the symptoms that are driving your people the most crazy? That's I think a good way to look at it. Like, what is driving your people the most crazy? And just type that into the chat. These are, again, on the physical side. As you do that, I'm going to get into the mental side. So it could be they're coming to you with overwhelm, anxiety, just low-grade stress, depression, irritability, brain fog, difficulty sleeping, feeling stagnant, stuck, dull. Like they go to the doctor and the doctor's like, I can't find anything wrong. And they're like, but I don't feel like myself. That could be, to me, under mental health. Maybe they feel unmotivated. They're unambitious, poor willpower. And we'll get into why why detoxes are so effective for willpower, for those that lack willpower, lack motivation, lack ambition. To me, this is really, really important to understand. So we'll get into why group detoxes are so much more effective than one-on-one work, client work. I'm also curious in the chat, like who's working primarily one-on-one with your clients? Because I will stand on my high horse and tell you in 10 ways past Wednesday why that is the least effective way to get people to results. All right. So what I'm seeing in the chat now is like cravings, irregular eating, joint pain, chronic inflammation, weight creep, puffiness, overeating, overwhelm, belly bloat. Yeah, like you could just do one campaign, just straight for the bloated belly fat, indigestion, constipation. Yeah, those of you who specialize more, like say in Ayurvedic medicine, you could just do yours completely on better digestion. All right. Brain fog. Yeah, you can do, if you're working with PMS, menopause, you can just do one like detox for menopause, right? And again, that's probably going to be for a lot of you more effective if that's your clientele than trying to like market it to everybody. It doesn't mean it won't help everybody. So poor concentration, difficulty focusing, mental confusion, brain fog, that is all a result of chronic inflammation. Just so we're clear that all of those symptoms are diet and lifestyle driven. The data's in on that. If you want to read the science on that, it's all in Uninflamed. There's a lot of it in the adipose chapter in Uninflamed, and also the focus chapter. Okay, soul symptoms that diminish with detox. Now, this is something that often you'll see on the tail end of a detox, which is like people are like, oh my gosh, I'm so much more on target with my life. I have a vision of my future. Like I'm stoked. Like I know what I'm doing. I know the habits that I need to have to be exactly who I want to be. So on the flip side, the more someone needs to detox, the more we're going to see they feel overwhelmed. They feel hopeless. They feel complacent. They just feel like, I don't really get it. I don't really love my job. Like I'm not as good a parent as I want to be. And I know that because the behaviors of my kids are not inspiring. Like I know that I, would like to have more direction, but I've kind of given up. I've tried everything. I've already tried everything. Like no one has even tried 1% of everything, just to be clear, including myself, right? So those of us who think we know the most know the least, right? But people will have this sense of I've already figured everything out in life, nothing works, and I'm despondent. Those are all soul symptoms. Some of you, this is the way you work. Is this is naturally how your wellness practice is set up, is to work more at the level of soul. And so if that's true, I would align that all the way through the marketing campaign and through how you coach and even create content for detoxes to really speak to your people very, very specifically. Because all of this, whether it's soul, whether it's mental, whether it's physical, all of this should have you should have massive resolution of core issues and massive breakthroughs in even a 21-day detox. A 21-day detox or a cleanse or reset or rejuvenation or whatever you want to call it, right? This is a peak experience, meaning people will go to a peak that they won't be able to sustain. That's why we teach the club model in Wellness Pro Academy, is they'll have a better chance of sustaining it in a club model and repeatedly having cyclical breakthroughs. But even with our people, we will expect in Club Thrive members going through our seasonal detoxes and challenges that they'll have a peak experience that they won't be able to sustain, right? But it becomes a future aspiration, which they might be able to sustain at a year from now or 2 years from now, right? And this is all fine and good and dandy. It's really important to have peak experiences and to have massive breakthroughs and then to get sucked back into the humdrum, right? But as long as you have the support system to quickly pull them out of the humdrum back into the peak experiences. And we'll get more into that down the lane. So anyone who is unclear in their direction, unclear in their impact, unclear in their dharma is the word that we use a lot from Sanskrit, right? Their deeper purpose in the next chapter of their life. That is, to me, a core indicator that the person needs to do a peak experience via detox. Okay, feeling trapped in consumerism. How do you know someone feels trapped into consumerism? Because they are buying shit they do not need. Right? They're working hard to buy stuff they don't need. That is trapped in consumerism. That is the soul crisis. It's epidemic levels in developed countries, right? So most of your people will have that. They're buying stuff on Amazon they don't need. They're buying clothes they already have in their closet. You are all guilty. I know it. You don't have to raise your hands. We've all done it, right? It's just part of what is going on now in modern culture. Okay, so all of these are symptoms. If we look that detox is a seasonal adversity habit, what does that mean? It means that it's hard. Adversity means hard. It's a hard habit, right? Meaning that hard habits are easier when we do them together. And this is the key. This is what I discovered in 2002. It's wow, I need to detox seasonally to be in integrity with what I know as an Ayurvedic medicine practitioner who practices Ritu Charya, the seasonal reset, right? This is ancient holistic medicine, Ritu Charya, R-I-T-U, Ritu, seasonal. Charya is the spinning of the wheel, C-H-A-R-Y-A, Ritu Charya. So for me to be in integrity with myself, right, to be in integrity with myself as an Ayurvedic medicine practitioner, I have to do a seasonal reset. So the problem with adversity habits, and again, adversity means that it's a hard thing in the present. Adversity habits are hard in the present that reap big rewards in the future. This is called delayed gratification. So you're delaying a metric ton of gratification for later, meaning later you won't have joint pain. Later you won't crave the crap. Later you won't buy shit you don't need. Later you won't be puffy when you wake up in the morning. Right? Later, that's delayed gratification. So an adversity habit says, I'm going to do the hardest thing first, even though it's uncomfortable, even though I don't want to, even though my ego is going to have a little temper tantrum, even though I might have a healing crisis and break out in hives or have diarrhea or have mucus come out of my head for 3 weeks, right? As the body releases the stuff it doesn't want to hold anymore. That's an adversity habit. So the cool thing to me is that detox is the seasonal, and I will underline, I think we should just do it in real time. Let's make this word green, right? It's the seasonal adversity habit. So a lot of adversity habits that we do in Club Thrive are daily. They're Dina Charya, daily adversity habits, right? But this is the seasonal one. So we're actually, when we pull out our annual marketing calendar at Club Thrive and at Wellness Pro Academy, this is the first thing we do is schedule these, right? Why? Because they happen with the seasons. They're just based completely on nature cycle. All right. So we're saying our marketing calendar we're not just going to pull that out of thin air. We're going to align that. We're going to pull that out of our seasonal adversity habits, right? Because if we can get the momentum of the seasons changing behind our members, if we can use that to our advantage to reverse aging, why wouldn't we do that? Why would we disadvantage them by not helping them feel the momentum of the changing seasons? And that's why Ritucharya in Sanskrit, in Ayurveda, and in yoga philosophy, that's why it's so important. That's why it shows up in the top 3 ways to prevent disease over all time, right? It's just simply aligned to time, parinam, aligned to time, aligned to time. Get the force of nature behind your actions. So detox is the only way to do that. Or if you're calling it a cleanse or a reset or rejuvenation or challenge, whatever you're calling it, you want to align that to the seasons. And I'll show you in a bit why we do that. All right, now I'm going to zoom in here and we're going to look at your why. Your why for your clients, your customers, your patients, your students, why they need you to guide a detox. And we're going to get more into what your detox will look like in the future. But right now, let's just look clearly on your why. Symptoms of chronic inflammation, we went over all of those above. They're trying to change their diet. So anyone trying to change their diet, Kaizen doesn't work. Kaizen is small incremental change. It's a bitch. It does not work for deep changes in diet. It does not work. They're just going against willpower. They're going against the momentum of their past. So whenever you need a giant leap forward, right, a great leap forward, you don't use Kaizen. You use a peak experience. So to me, this is really huge. If anyone's struggling to change the habits of their clients, it's because you're not doing it this way. And chances are you're not using the club model that we coach wellness pros in at Wellness Pro Academy. So if you're not using the club model, it means you can't sustain the changes they're going to make in a peak experience. Is everybody clear on this, or do I need to go into this more? I just need to know, because I feel like I've said the same thing 3 times, and I just want to make sure we are all crystal clear on this. I just see so many wellness pros be insanely ineffective in their careers because of this and not really have the impact that they should be having with their clients. Okay, I'll take your word for it. So they're struggling to put your advice into practice, right? You're telling them to do things. You're all clear on what it is they should be doing. They're not doing it, right? They aren't inspired by their family, their friends to make essential habit changes. Why? Because we're an ultra social species. Our habits are communal. Write that down. Everyone just take a pause, write down our habits, they are communal. Our habits are sourced in the community. So in Uninflamed, there's a habit called commune, COMMUNE, where I go deep into the science, into this, both the biological science and the metaphysical science and the social science on how our habits are communal. It's all in there. It's a really good chapter. So because our habits are communal, if you're not creating a community around the habits that your clients, patients, students need to have, that's on you, right? That's on your business model. It's wrong because they're not getting it at home. Whatever they're coming to you with, you know what the habits of their community are, because those are the habits they're coming to you with. So if you're not creating a community around better habits, that's why I use the club model that's based on habits as what we coach wellness pros in on the business side at Wellness Pro Academy. It's because you need to form a community, right? It's not a course, it's not a program. It may have a course and a program in it, which I'll show you how we do that later with Detox. But if you're not doing that, it's not going to work. They'll have peak experiences and then they'll slide back. Then they'll have a peak experience with your detox and then they'll slide back. And then they'll have a peak experience and then they'll slide back. And they'll start to use it. You'll just feel like, oh, my detox is like babysitting. Like it's fun. We have a breakthrough. Then we slide back. That's your business model. Weight creep, immune issues, autoimmune issues. This is important. Number 7, your clients, they actually look to you for leadership. And to me, this is leadership like all the way across the finish line, like all the way to who they want to become next. They look for you for leadership all the way there. So the business model in which the detox arises as a peak experience, right? That needs to be baked in. So you should be rising up. You should be rising up in your leadership and in your own personal integrity. And the detox should help you get in sync with your own integrity, right? And it should push you, propel you to build a system around your clients that gets them across the finish line, that you truly lead to the future vision of the community. This is something I find is it's really not taught well in med school. It's also not taught well in holistic practitioner programs, or even like, yoga teacher training, Pilates teacher training, those type of gym, those of you who are personal trainers. It's just not taught in that like this leadership part is really important. It's just as important, if not more important, than any kind of information you're sharing with your clients. Okay, and your clients have no idea how good they could feel if they had better habits, lost excess weight, or became free of joint pain. This is something I've heard just, oh my gosh, time again and again and again. At the end of a 21-day detox, it's like, I had no idea how good I could feel. If your detox is not giving you that end result, there's something wrong in the detox that you're guiding. Just to be clear, everybody should be saying to you at the end of 21 days, I had no idea how good I could feel. Okay. So just know that's the benchmark that we set in our detox certification program, is where it's like, that's the benchmark, is like everyone says, I had no idea how good I could feel. Now, all they've really done in that is change their habits, right? There's no special spice mix. There's no special ancient Ayurvedic formula, mind in the Himalayas, right? It's all part of the inner physiology, and just aligning that, getting rid of the junk. Is everyone clear why? Are you clear on your why? You should have checked a few of these boxes at this point. And you should be even more just like, yes, I am inspired. I am inspired to do this for my clients. Okay, so to me, detox is the opportunity to pull back the bow before you shoot the arrow. Most people right now, including many of you, and I know because I work with wellness pros for a living, and I have for well over a decade, are just in the too busy. So when we're in the too busy cycle, right, you're just repeating what you did yesterday. You're perpetuating what you did yesterday into tomorrow. You're just in that. So you're not like pulling back the arrow, looking around, deciding exactly where you're going to point your energy and attention, right, into the future. And your clients are doing that too. So it's so important, those of you who are wellness pros, that you are leading your clients, your community, your students. You are leading them into the future. If you don't pull back and reassess, if you don't help them pull back and reassess, everyone's just perpetuating tomorrow into the future, which is why you give them advice, you give yourself advice, no one's following the advice. No one's actually doing it. How do you know? This is my new metric. How do I know if I've automated a habit? Anyone want to guess in the chat? How do I know that I've automated a habit? Meaning, like most of you have automated toothbrushing, right? You don't have to like remind yourself to brush your teeth. It's actually, you feel gross if you don't do it. How do I know? How do I know? What's my external measurement as to whether or not I've automated a habit? This is going to surprise all of you. None of you are going to get it right, but try. Give me your best shot. I know I'm feeling a little cheeky at 51, aren't I? Come right back to it. It's beyond thinking about. Yeah, it's not negotiable. Keep trying. Come on. Those of you guys are like, I already know everything. Put your answer in. Let's see. Mind, body. Yeah. Don't change. That's a good one, Holly. I like that. Don't change behaviors on vacation. Results. No. It is stress releasing versus stress creating. No. The body guides the habit instead of the mind. No. But good try. All right. You guys ready for this? Is there enough build up before my answer? Are we listening? I can feel it when I don't do it. Doesn't feel like effort. Natural part of my, you guys are, no. No, we're an here's a clue. Here's a clue. Right? We are an ultra social species. How do I know? You're getting closer. Community's doing it. Everybody's doing it. Others around me start doing it. Okay, Tarna. Yes. Now go closer. You guys are getting closer. Whole family. Don Gordon. You got it. Don Gordon. Don's been with us for a while. Good to see you back here. I know a lot of you guys have circled around, been with me in the past, didn't join Wellness Pro Academy. Now you're back. It's good. I measure whether my daughter's doing it or not. My 16-year-old. So yesterday we're at the hot spring. You can't keep my kid out of the cold water. How cold is the cold water? It's about 40. She's diving in. That's how I know I've automated cryotherapy. Interesting metric, isn't it? Like, wow, that's a whole new bar. Who has kids? Anyone have kids? And they're like, fuck, I don't like that metric. Like, I have automated it. I do all those things we said about, right? But it's like, oh no, there's something else where culture's in the way. There's something else where culture's strong. And there's certain habits. I mean, anyone who's read Primal Habits on Inflamed or Witch's Cancer Journal knows some of these habits are extremely countercultural. And they're not going to show up in your kids and teens for a long time. Okay, so we want to be able to point our energy, attention. We want to be able to point what in Ayurvedic medicine is called tejas, right? Our power of discrimination. We are a discriminatory species, meaning we can choose where we want to go. In choosing where you want to go, you decide. So discriminate has the same root as decide, which means to cut off all other options. It means you can only say yes to your big yes. You can't say yes to everything all at once. You can't have 10 priorities. By definition, a priority is one thing, right? Greg McKeown wrote a few bestsellers on that, the one thing, essentialism, right? These are the concepts around this that like you really have to decide where you're going next. We see wellness pros all the time that are like, I want to change, I'm going to help, I'm going to solve everybody's problems. And it's like, well, you haven't decided who your target audience is, right? Because when you decide, that means you're cutting off all other options. Okay, so that's the deal with detox, is it really helps people pull back. It helps them reassess. It helps them see the trajectory they were on with their habits, and it helps them get a vision of a bigger future and align to that. Okay, so who should be guiding a detox? I use the word should intentionally here. Anyone who's trying to get clients, patients, or students to results, in my opinion, should guide detoxes. Why? Because it's part of season. Because we should be guiding daily habits and we should be guiding seasonal resets. Why? Because according to ancient medicine, which modern science hasn't really caught up to yet. And how do I know this? Because I read the research. There's way more research on circadian rhythm habits on a daily cycle than there are on seasonal reset habits. And yay, finally the science has caught up, right? With what the yogis knew and not just the yogis, but really any indigenous culture knew with daily rhythm habits. They also knew with seasonal rhythm habits. Science is starting to catch up a little bit, but it's still way too far behind on seasonal resets. Way far behind on this. When it catches up, maybe I'll write a book on it, right? But right now, I don't feel like there's enough research on it. So who should be guiding it? Anyone who's trying to help people, right? Feel better. To me, it's across the whole board, from like healers and shamans and witches and energy healers to like actually doctors, people leading med spas, people leading cancer clinics, right? It goes to me as far allopathic and as far holistic as the entire spectrum. I even believe that food companies, supplement companies, all should be leading detoxes. Anyone who has an email list, who has a product or a service that's trying to help people or the planet be healthier, to me should guide a detox. What we know happens in our detoxes is that people also get way more in connection to the planet. They realize they're part of the planet. They realize they're part of an evolving species on an evolving planet. They wake up. They get out of consumer culture. We see this every single time. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit about group momentum. Oh yeah, thanks. Thanks, Giselle. If you can put all the books in the chat, that might be helpful, like Witch's Cancer and Primal Habits. That would be great. I wish I wrote Yogi Detox 10, 15, 20 years ago. Maybe I will in the future go back and fill in the dots on that. I thought about doing it when I was like 32, 33. I thought about writing Yogi Detox. Okay, so group momentum enables breakthroughs that are otherwise impossible. Let that sink in. This is something where, again, like I had clients paying me $35,000 a year, and I had clients paying me $600 a year. And I saw more results with a group paying me $600 a year. And I don't advise, I'll get into pricing and structure with this in a minute. I don't advise pricing and structuring that way, because there's so much more advantage to having people in a club that's not just 2 detoxes a year. Otherwise, it's basically what your club is. But there's something that happens. There's a compound effect. There's the ultra social species effect. There's you're only as good as the people you hang out with. So this was research that I think it was first came out in Willpower Doesn't Work by Ben Hardy, who's an organizational and behavioral psychologist. And he showed that, if you take the 5 people around you and then you take the 5 people around each of them. So now you have a 25 person data set. Are you guys following me here? Okay. So 5 people around you and then the 5 core people around them. If the 5 core people around your 5 core people gain weight, guess what happens to you? You gain weight. Even if those 5 people around you don't gain weight. So what the heck is happening there? This is where you really start to understand ultra social species. Ultra social, meaning if we're in a group that's doing something, like, can anyone right now, we've been marketing the detox for the last 2 weeks. Can anyone feel the group momentum already? Can you feel the force field coming? Yeah, you can start to feel it. So in our marketing campaign next week, you'll start to see more on liver stone detox and more on fast mimicking diet as I get deeper into explaining the science behind adipose tissue. And you'll start to actually feel a momentum in those particular types of detox. Like you'll feel that cellularly in your body because there's a group that's going towards a process together. There's hundreds of people around the world that are going into this process together. So there is a collective. There is a collective consciousness that's forming around an event. So our detoxes are events. They're 3-week events. And they start about a month before with a marketing process that starts to build the field of energy. It builds from even Lori organizing the mentoring group for the detox and the intentionality around, our care of why we do this for our community of members, why we invite their friends and family in to doing the detox with us. For us, what we've discovered is the bigger the group, the bigger the effect, which kind of makes sense, right? Some of you who work with small groups, you'll notice like the deeper you go in, the more profound the effect. So either way can work. You can work with span and you can work with depth and you can work with both span and depth. It's very important for you to realize this. Those of you who are trying to guide one-on-one detoxes, and that might look like panchakarma. Do we have any panchakarma therapists here? Can I just see our deep one-on-one bodywork centric detoxes? No? Okay. I'm sure there will be a few people listening because I know just from who signed up, you can't get to the same place. Just even if you're doing 4 to 5 hours of hands-on work with a client every day for 7 days in a detox, you can't get to the same place as you can with a group plus that. And it's really easy to add a group effect. It's very leverageable. I feel like the universe plus technology wants us to have bigger groups because it is so much more profound. All right. Tarna is doing a Shiro Bliss machine. And it's awesome. So that's Shirodara. It's where you pour warm oil over the head. Yeah. Doing like one-on-one work plus group work. That's, in the first detox I did with 6 people, they all got like a 1 or 2 one-on-one sessions with me as part of the group experience. Great thing to do. Great way to like add value. Those of you in Wellness Pro Academy who have a VIP pass, I would include, more one-on-one plus the group in the VIP. Okay, so what to do? I'm going to go into some do's and to some don'ts. Do's, tune into the group momentum. This is something I feel like I was a little slow to the uptake on. It's something that I found out more in retrospect. Now I'm really tuned into it. So I will use as my own, we'll put air quotes around spiritual practice, as part of it is just tuning into the group momentum. Like tuning into the group consciousness before it's begun. Like, as part of the writing the emails, making the social media posts, just in the launch mode of it, as well as all the way through the detox, as well as after, just tuning into what is trying to happen, tuning into the force field, tuning into the collective. Okay. Other big do's, like focus on habits, sleep, intermittent fasting, hydration, primal movement. Sipping hot water. This is straight out of the Ayurveda playbook, right? Sip hot water every 20 minutes. This just keeps a level of hydration and fluidity in the tissue. Spice it up with spices. We use spice water. That's like really one of the first habits we get people into in the simple detox is just carrying around a thermos and sipping water. Those of you using things like ozone water, you could put ozone water in there, etc. The spices can be specific. Those of you who are trained in energetics of foods, whether that's Chinese medicine, Ayurvedic medicine, naturopathy, like you can help people with like foods or spices according to body type. And that could be really fun for people, or symptomology, really good to, again, bring that informational piece in with the transformational piece. Okay. Guidance with a weekly meal planner. I'll show you our weekly meal planner. Like we are very much into and not giving everybody, here's the set thing to do. We give people options. Anyone in our detox certification will get more into that, of how to effectively put people in the driver's seat of choosing so that it's not like someone told me to do this. Why do you think we don't do that? Because people want that. People will ask for that. Just tell me what to do. Just give me the set menu. Just tell me exactly what to do. Why do we not do that? I've done this over 50 times. Why do we not do that? They need to feel what's right for them. Internal resistance and rebellion kicks in. Exactly, Tarna. Yeah. They'll create a me against you thing. Then they'll look for ways that what you're telling them doesn't work. I would much rather tap people into their own intuition and get people taking more personal responsibility. Right. So the more I can do that at every step of the way, you'll see me do that. And you'll see me teaching other wellness pros how to do that in our detox certification. So it won't look like the same as what other people are doing. All right. And if you guys can put the ebook back in the chat, because I see people taking screenshots, whereas you all have this in my playbook. So make food once a day. Keep food as simple as possible and calories low. This to me is really important. People become food obsessed. That's not the point. That's so not the point. It is so not about the food. It's more about the fasting, really, than the food. If we look at like what, and I'll get into the science of why fasting and detox, like what's actually happening on the biochemical cellular level with fasting and detoxification of tissue. But it's really important that people, to me, don't get food obsessed. You're going to have a lot. Who here already knows that they have a lot of people that are food triggered, whether they're emotional eating, whether they have backgrounds in all sorts of eating disorders? Yeah. Okay. So people come to us every single detox. One of our FAQs is, can I do this detox if I have had an eating disorder in the present or the past? I've worked with people that have bulimia for 25 years and reversed it in a year. Yeah. How? Well, in part, seasonal detox, right? It was huge. So showing people what to focus on is really, really important. Okay. So making food once a day helps. Having the meal planner, just taking the emphasis off food, keeping food as simple as possible, calories low is really, really important. And then group momentum. Enemas prevent and alleviate constipation. In general, the enemas that I advocate the most are the least invasive enemas. What are the least invasive enemas? You can type it in the chat. What are the least invasive enemas? Kim's going with sesame. Any other guesses? Come on. Anu, Vasana, Basti. Okay, so like a bunch of herbs cooked into oil. We're getting closer, but not really. Coffee. Urine. Yes, urine. Why is the urine enema the least invasive enema?
Because it's your body?
Yeah, right. So there's a term in Ayurvedic medicine, svastha, S-V-A, sva means self. Stha is like the seated in the self. So your body has already created plasma, and urine comes out of our plasma. It comes out of our blood. Right? It's filtered again. So the body already recognizes it. Now, there's a particular reason it works for enemas, and it has something to do with the nitrogen in the urine that creates a polarity effect where it will pull, it'll suck towards the South Pole. So North Pole, crown, South Pole is your root, your perineum. So it'll actually pull out of the South Pole. Now, for many of you, this is out of your scope of practice, and this is scary, and we just got really weird. But it is a good thing to, right, Megan? But it's not out of Megan McDonald's wheelhouse. I wouldn't be talking about this if it wasn't for Megan McDonald. So yay, thank you, Megan, for joining our community. But yeah, it's really crucial that people do not get constipated during a detox. Really crucial. So if you don't know how to teach enemas and you don't know what are the least invasive enemas and why and how to teach this, then it is important that and we'll get into skills that you need to lead an effective detox. For me, this is huge. If you're not already practicing enemas, you've got to learn how to unclog it, even if you don't think you personally need them. Urine enemas will also loosen biofilm. So people will have mucous intestinal, even parasitical, bacterial, viral biofilms in their colon. And urine will clear the biofilm. It'll nourish the microbiome of the colon. Such a powerful. If you're wondering any of the science behind this, go read Uninflamed. There's a whole section on urine therapy. Okay. Weekly meal planner. It can look as simple as this. Like even getting people off the idea of 3 meals a day and onto eating twice a day can be really effective in detox. Getting people off intermittent snacking or just like eating all the time and into eating like even once a day, OMADs twice a day. Having a designated time when they're eating and a designated time with their fasting. Very easy to do. This is a very easy way to start to lead a very basic detox. It's just getting people on setting out what they're going to do. Do they need to do it 100%? No. I'm super clear with like your meal plan is your guideline, right? It's not about perfectionism. It's not about beating yourself up and jumping off the wagon as soon as you do something that's not on your meal plan. Everything you've ever tried and done, I'm sure I have too. Like Or, and I'm speaking to all your members here. It's like, I get it. It's not about being perfect. It's about giving yourself some bumpers to bump off of. All right. So like I said, my first detox had 6. Yes, count them. 6 people. I think I'm maybe even including myself in this. I might be a little bit generous here. 5 to 6 paid people at $150 each, and the year was 2002. For me, that was enough to pay my mortgage in the off season, which is what I was looking to do. I was living in like a more tourist economy. And this helped me do that. That was actually on the financial side, the first reason. And we're going to get into how detox works in the business model, because some of your whys might be financial. For me, it really was. Like for me, it's like, I just needed to pay my mortgage. It wasn't an expensive mortgage. I was splitting it with my husband, and this more or less paid like my mortgage and my food for that month in 2002. On the plus side, on the impact side, I found it totally changed my business model. It totally changed the results I got with clients. Like there was this whole other upside to it. But I was doing it because A, I needed to detox to be in integrity with my wellness wisdom. B, I needed to make money. And it did both of those things, even with a small group. Okay, so now on the don'ts. Don't confuse information with transformation. Who knows? Just call yourselves out, because honestly, you'll learn faster that way. Who just gives people way too much information as a wellness pro? Yeah, okay, good. Yeah. Just know that is not equated with transformation. So I find the less information I give people, the more transformation. Okay. Right. I've led 50. So if you haven't led 50 of these and you want to like do a debate duel with me, like game on, I'll do it. I'll do it live on my podcast, like all day long, because what I have found is that limiting the information, right? Using my power of Tejas, my power of discernment is the greatest gift I can give, right? To my people. We're in information overload. All right. Don't have a one size fits all approach. In my first detox with those 6 people, I had everyone doing an Ayurvedic khichdi type cleanse. We did like an at-home panchakarma, almost like word for word straight out of Ayurvedic Home Remedies by Dr. Vasant Lad. Like we did that, right? And like within 48 hours, I had massive rebellion on my hands. And I only had 5 other people by myself. And I had massive rebellion. Like one of them who was bulimic from a trauma incident as a teenager. It was like a rape trauma incident that surfaced, and she could not eat the khichdi without throwing up. So all those already we were, yeah, right? This is my first detox. I'm like 48 hours into guiding my first detox, and this is what surfaces. So in detox, just to be clear, like you are going into healing crisis territory. This is why we're teaching this certification, right? It's because there's a lot that we've learned over time and how to handle really tricky stuff that comes up. Okay. So another guy, and many of you have heard these stories who've been with me in the past. Another guy had put hot sauce literally on every meal for the past 20 years. And he started breaking out in massive hives. And he couldn't palate the khichdi without hot sauce. It's just like how they unwind addicts. Sometimes they use a little of the addiction as the medicine, right? So to me, the one size fits all from detox number 1 was completely out the window. And I was in the territory of like, how do we help people customize the solutions that they need to help themselves? Don't get dehydrated or constipated. I would say, huge. Dehydration and constipation will create more crises than healing. So don't let that. You want to keep the gateways open. You want to keep the channels flowing. Don't focus on food, focus on rejuvenation activities. This has been super helpful, like introducing habits that really help people take the focus on food. These can be simple things like sitting under a tree. You'll see in some of my promotional, informational campaigns on social media with our detox, you'll see people like sitting under a tree. I learned this from Dr. Shantri Kasera, and I'm super grateful. The permaculture Ayurvedic Panchakarma specialist up in Canada. I think he's in Alberta province. Super effective. He just plants his people under trees. They have to find a tree. They come to retreat with him. The first thing you do is like, go find your tree. Everyone finds their tree. Then they have to sit with their tree a couple hours a day. They have to go sit with their tree. This is a non-food activity, right? We're getting the focus off the food. We're getting the focus on putting your consciousness, putting your attention into another place, time, vibration, rhythm, something where you're consuming in a way, but you're just consuming the vibration of the tree. right? And then you might enter a consciousness feedback loop with a tree and all these other things might happen. Who knows? Okay, so don't convince anyone else to detox. Who's led a detox and all of a sudden all their people in their detox are trying to convince all their family and friends to detox and to join it? Has anyone ever had that experience? Yeah, right? Or like, I could just get my husband on board. If I could just get my business partner on board, or like my 20-year-old son really needs to do this with me. And it's like, no, just stop. Just focus on you. So those are my big don'ts. And you guys, while I wrote these quickly, I wrote this ebook in maybe an hour or two. These are very hard won lessons. Every single one of these comes with a ton of scar tissue. All right. So now let's look at you and your business, right? And why your detox might be very business focused in a way, and why that's not a bad thing. There shouldn't be any sort of judgment. Like, don't judge the marketplace, please. The marketplace is a really good barometer of what's working, what's not working. So you're not getting massive breakthroughs with your clients, right? Results are lackluster. Maybe you're like me, you need to add an income stream to pay your mortgage. Maybe you need to leverage your time for better client results. So you need to leverage a group effect. Maybe you want your clients to build relationships outside of you, being the in between everybody. I see most wellness pros do this really pitifully, right? And so this is something that we correct very quickly in Wellness Pro Academy, is like, let's get you out of the way of your clients connecting so that your clients start to drive each other's results. Let that sink in. If your clients are not driving each other's results, you have a business problem. It's a business model problem, and it's affecting your client results. So it's affecting your skillfulness as a wellness pro. Importance of seasonal transitions. We already beat that to a pulp. Seasonal detox to get you in integrity, right? Just for your own personal health breakthroughs that you don't have to pay for, that your clients pay you to have. You want an easy way for your clients to refer to you. So everyone in Club Thrive gets 2 passes to give away. That is very intentional. While what I said before is like, they shouldn't be trying to convince everyone. They can still invite everybody to come with them. So we want to grow our referrals with it. And then you want to anchor a core offer over 2,500 with seasonal detoxes to guarantee massive health breakthroughs. I really, for most of you out there, if you've been practicing for over a decade, I really recommend that price point to be way more like $5,000. $5,000 for your club. It includes the detoxes. It includes passes that you can give away. If you can't charge that, it's a sales problem. It's a sales and leads problem. It's not a wellness pro skill problem. You have a different problem. We will fix that problem at Wellness Pro Academy. So just so we know, that's what it's like. There's a whole thing of people actually investing in the future they want to experience in their 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. That's why you're a wellness pro, is to get people deep long-term results and to have a lifetime customer value. Your lifetime customer value should be well over $15,000 per customer. And if you don't know what that is, and you're not focused on the business side of it, it just means that you are unsustainable as a wellness pro, right? It means that your education, your self-knowledge is unsustainable because you don't have a business model that supports you leading from lifestyle. Don't worry. It's a problem that's fixable, right? And that's really why we do what we do. Okay. So now more fun, how to build detox into your offer. So if you don't already have an offer, we'll help you with that with our best offer ever, little promo that gives you, it's a guided coaching package where it's like 2.5 hours of coaching with us on your best offer ever. I'll get into that because if you don't have an offer that's not just for your detox, right? Because detox are going to have a peak experience. Then they're going to fall off the cliff, right? If you don't have an offer that's a club, it's a club renewable annual membership model, right? To me and people like me who know business as well as wellness, we've all reached the same conclusion. I just had an 1.5-hour interview on Salt Marketing podcast just on this. And they're working mostly with med spas, right? Just on this, where we've reached the same conclusion. They came at it from marketing. I came at it from wellness pros getting results for their members. We reached the same conclusion that there's like only really one business model that works right now for long-term client results where the wellness pro can lead from lifestyle. So your offer is that. That is what you offer in the marketplace. And how do we build detox into that? Coaching adversity habits should be part of what are in there. Adversity habits, like where you're teaching people how to have breakthroughs, how to have a keystone habit or an anchor habit, how to say yes and to their addiction. So people are going to come in addicted to, I've had people, honestly, I've had alcoholics. I've had people addicted to, I had someone on crack. I did. Yep. So if you haven't, don't worry. Like I've already seen it all. Weed, shopping, eating addiction, sex addiction, all that, right? Like, how do we form new habits as part of the detox? So what is in your detox? A lot of you are already coaching habits. You're already doing group coaching. Some of you aren't. We coach on that in Wellness Pro Academy. It's just part of like what everybody gets in there, because most wellness pros come in with us and they're either more of a practitioner or they're more of a teacher. Both of those things are not a coach. So some people come in and they just teach. That's not the same skill set as coaching. Some people come in and they're just practitioners. So they're doctors and they just tell people what to do. They're very informational. That's not the same thing as coaching. And it's the coaching on the diet and lifestyle habits that actually guides people to results. So some of you do body work. You can include that. Some of you do detox cooking. Some of you do microbiome testing and restoration. Some of you do yoga, meditation, cryo, nature therapy, forest walking, forest bathing. Some of you are more just like on juice cleansing, fasting based cleanses, like all of these, hiking, getting people outside. Even if you're global remote, you can still have everybody do the same things at the same time, even if it's sitting under their favorite tree, right? So how you include what you include is as important on what you don't include, because more isn't better. So just really deciding on like what is included, what gets your people to results, what habits you want to have them automate that you're going to want them to keep doing after the detox is how I would decide what habits you do in the detox. Okay, so some of you are missing skills and qualifications in here. Detox specific therapies I highlighted earlier, detox crisis, detox specific diets, but you have a lot of the other things. Like you have good skills on, maybe it's meditation, maybe it's elimination diet, maybe it's therapeutic movement, maybe it's body typing, like in Ayurveda practitioners, maybe it's primal habits like fasting and cryo, etc. So there's things that you already have. You're going to want to leverage those, obviously. So what's in your best offer ever, including what's in your detox, we can help you with that in our best offer ever. I'll just show you guys how to get that coaching package at a massive discount. So it's priced at $697 and you can get $600 off if you use the best offer code wellnesspro.academy /offer. And my people will put that in the chat. If you haven't done this with us, this will really help you see how the detox fits into your business model. It might not be the current business model you have. It might be the business model you want in the future that will work more for you as a lifestyle driven business where you're leading from your wellness integrity. All right. So we'll help figure out that, like what your annual offer is and where the detoxes fit into that and what's in both in terms of the core competencies that you want your clients to have. Okay. So other stuff that you need to guide a detox, like these are probably honestly these hard skills are around marketing and sales. So how to launch, like that is its own, multi-point list like this that I didn't put in here, but how to launch is big. This is like a big part. For many of you in Wellness Pro Academy, your one simple funnel should go into the detox. It should go into the next detox or seasonal reset, right? Like that's like the easy, quick win of building trust. That's your 7 points of contact over 11 days or 4 hours of content. Like this is your way of like getting people in. We can get more into that in our next live session with Wellness Pro Academy. So how to launch is a big deal. How to launch more or less determines how much money we make and how many people we upsell into our club. So if we don't really focus on how we launch and we focus more on like the information that's in the detox, there's just going to be less people in it. There'll be less people that get to results. Okay. So then other skills, recipes, prep materials, how to schedule it for them that works, how to coach it, how to avoid healing crisis, how to handle healing crisis, how to guide people on emerging from a detox. This is the most, I think, who did this session? I can't remember who it was. It may like Lynn or Brenda. Someone may have, oh no, Megan, you said you did this one with Claudia?
Sarita and I did that one.
Sarita, you did this one. Like crazy in number. Do you want to say anything more about this? Like on the emerging?
Just that people focus so much on the detox itself that then they get to the end and there's a sense of relief, but then they are a little lost because their new self has happened. Their new identity is emerging, and the plan they made at the beginning, or they didn't make a plan for the end. So they're not ready to catch their new self.
Yeah. And as wellness pros, often by then, like we've done the launch, like for us, the launch is over a month. It's a long ass launch, right? Then you've got it a 3-week detox. Like you might be energetically and mentally kind of checked out. And yet this is where your people need you the most. If you have a club-based model, right? Meaning they're just going from the detox. Now they're still they're in the club. So your whole club will be reintegrating. You won't be They won't be falling off the cliff anymore. And this is so, so, so important. Like my whole business is based on people getting to results, right? People feeling how they want to feel in their 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, right? So it's like, if this part is broken, peak experience, fall off a cliff, it doesn't work, right? And then they have a negative association with adversity habits because it was really, maybe a challenge, right? Maybe they lost. I mean, we've had people lose up to 15 pounds in a detox, right? And they might need to lose another 50. So how do we help them emerge? And then there might be specific skills with, liver stone detox. We are coaching this in our next detox, in our next group detox. This is something that people in Club Thrive have been doing for the past year. I'm going to just pause here. As wellness pros, you really need to understand this. The leading cancers are going to be liver and biliary stone based cancers. So cancer forms in the stones in the liver and in the biliary, which is in the gallbladder and bile system of the physiology. Pitta, Ayurveda, you guys, if those of you, I know a lot of you are Ayurveda background, this is Pitta Amma, how Pitta Amma becomes cancer. So what does this mean? This means it's overtaking breast cancer, uterine cancer, ovarian cancer, endometrial cancers, all the sex, prostate cancer, all the sex cancers are getting overtaken by 2030 by cancers that are related to the stones that are in our liver and gallbladder. Dysbiotic communities, this goes into microbiome science, dysbiosis happens in these stones. So these stones are just packed with kind of, if you look at like there's maybe positive bacteria and negative bacteria. So eubiotic bacteria are positive. They help the human physiology. Dysbiotic bacteria are negative. They destroy the human physiology, meaning the human DNA cells. So this is where like clearing stones out is only going to become an increasingly important skill, which is why we will teach it in our detox certification. All right. People with food allergies. I think most of you have clients with food allergies. And so just, helping navigate how you do that in a group cleanse, especially when there's hundreds of people all with different allergies. These are all just, again, we're just in the skills section. Like what skills are we going to need? Why we're bringing this in as a certification at Wellness Pro Academy. How to organize an easy detox, how to make this as simple as possible for you. It's really important. How to coach people with scary diagnosis. Many of you on the holistic side have been trained away from people with scary diagnosis. You've been taught that it's, close to illegal to work with people that have a scary diagnosis, whether that's liver failure, whether that's cancer, whether that's, any of the many names of autoimmune disease named after men who created the diagnosis, like Graves or Hashimoto's or Addison's, or throw in your Parkinson's, favorite disease man's name. So how to coach people, right? That really are looking for help, that are really on the brink of, I need help. I'm willing to do things that other people aren't willing to do. How to integrate detox into your core offer, and then how to guide people at various levels. So many of you who have been with me know that in our detoxes, we have people that have been teaching yoga for 30 years, and we have people that weigh over 100 pounds more than they should in their body weight and are on diabetes medication. I think we would all agree that's a pretty big range of expertise. So to me, it's important to know how to guide people at all of these different levels all at the same time. It's very powerful to be able to do that where everybody's having a breakthrough. Okay, so it's important to me that you want to do this both to add an income stream and to have an upsell, and we'll help you build that. In that best offer ever will help you get a sense of how you can do that. So those of you who have been somewhat paying attention to what we're doing, we're bringing in certifications. This is something that I did with Yoga Health Coaching. It was a certification program. When we went to Wellness Pro Academy, I was like, fuck that. These wellness pros need to learn the business model. They need to stop obsessing about their next health skills, wellness skills. They just get lost on their own personal wellness journeys and they become way less effective in guiding people to results. Well, lesson learned for me, wellness pros actually do need hard skills in wellness. So we're bringing certifications back because it's the best way for us to know that you have the hard skills that we know you need. So if in that list of all those things you need to know in detox, to me, that's why we have the detox certification. And we'll talk to you about that in best offer ever. I know a few of you here are already enrolled in our detox certification. And I just want to say, I'm so excited to work with you guys. It's really fun after doing this for, 20 years to be able to not just lead by example, but just to tell you guys everything we know and give you all the templates. And, Giselle, who's here, is already working on the templates with me. to give you guys everything you need, from the social media posts to the how to write the email campaign, the delivery campaign, to give you the cut and paste lessons if you don't want to make your own, to guide your members. That's really why we decided to do that. I'm just like, I don't need to own it all. I'd rather share. All right. I know we're at the point where I said I'd be into Q&A and I talked too long and went over too many symptoms. I'm not going to get into fat cells. I'll give you guys a little bonus training on fat cells and what happens in detox with the fat cells, because basically what's happening is on the left. So the big things to know is that people get smarter when they detox. This data is in, it's all non-inflamed. People get dumber, right, when their fat cells are out of circulation. It literally leads to neurodegeneration and a lack of neuroplasticity, meaning it's hard for people to learn. You have a loss of cognitive function. It's harder for people to learn new things. It's harder for people to change their behaviors if their fat cells are not in circulation. So the biggest thing you're doing when guiding a detox is getting fat cells back into circulation. The number one way to do that is with autophagy. When that happens, people will feel their inflammation. They'll be irritated, overwhelmed, and feeling blah. If you're not prepared to do that with a whole bunch of people, then leading a detox is not for you. But if you realize that all of your subtle body practices have prepared you for this moment to be able to handle other people, handling their own emotions, it's amazing what can happen. Autophagy can happen. Apoptosis can happen, where their body literally starts to digest and break down what's in their fat cells, which are endocrine disrupting chemicals, which are creating all these cravings for stuff they don't want and stuff they don't need. And to me, it's really important that we understand the science behind it so that we can talk about autophagy and apoptosis with some degree of scientific understanding, biochemistry understanding. So we'll be including that in the detox training as well. You should be able to explain it to your people so that when they're feeling like this, they know why and they know what they can do to move through to the other side, because on the other side is feeling amazing. When people can process and digest their emotions, the inner space opens up and they feel fresh, they feel clear, they have a much better way of tolerating the stresses of modern life. And this is what happens on the other side, is they feel grounded, they feel warm-hearted, they feel excited about their future. They now are hands on the steering wheel, in control of how they feel. Okay, so I'm going to go into a few steps. I will stay longer for Q&A. I will be willing to stay for a whole 2 hours in this whole thing. So if you have questions and want to type them in the chat, we'll go into that. And you can also ask me live in a few minutes. I'm just going to go over like 3 basic tips to start. So on the planning side, this is all in the guide. Set your dates. Check to avoid holidays. I always look when Easter is. I try to look when the Jewish holidays are, when Passover and Rosh Hashanah are. I try to plan accordingly. Sometimes it doesn't work with the seasonal equinoxes in that, but I look at all those things and I set dates. I plan a month before the detox to launch. So I do a month-long launch before detoxes. Right? I'm really trying to educate my people, educate my list, educate my podcast listeners, educate my social media channel on a lot of the things that we just talked about. Okay, so we set our dates twice a year for detox, twice a year for challenges, and we repeat the cycle annually. So our offer in Club Thrive looks a little bit like this. 5-day FMD is a fast mimicking diet. Right now, we're pushing that fast mimicking diet into our spring detox. This isn't entirely accurate. We will do a challenge. I think we're doing an intermittent fasting challenge in June. And that's the next thing that my team will start working on literally in 2 weeks. So we'll still be launching the detox and we'll be working on the next one. All right. Tip 2, prep your materials for your launch. Use Canva to create your meal plans. Canva's only gotten 10,000 times better. Use School or another platform for members. We love School. What does School look like? In our Primal Habits Challenge, Classroom is in here, Core Concepts, Detox. So it's set up week by week, calendar with coaching on it. Let's see if it's on here already. Yep. My team's got this on here already for what we're doing. Then members, community. We use School because it's all these things. Plus, I don't go outside of here to DM my people, my mentors or my members. Everything happens in School. That's really important. I don't want my members like DMing me on my phone, right? I want to go into an app where I can answer a question within that app. So that's what we advise in Wellness Pro Academy. Same deal, like our classroom. This is what we do. It's you guessed it, annual membership where we have a super high, I think over 80%, Lori will correct me, renewal rate in Wellness Pro Academy with our members. We model the way in everything we do. These are the core competencies: offer, club, sales, leads, wellness coaching systems. Then there's also, we're adding the certifications in here as well. All right. So use School or another platform for members to connect. If you have a detox and your members can't connect, you are now limiting their results. Seth Godin tribes. In order to have a tribe, your members need a shared mission and a way to connect. Not with a leader, but with each other. It's a seminal work. 20 years ago, he wrote that book. It's so good. Pro tip. We use themes for each detox. So you'll see this next one, we're using liver stone flush, we're using fast mimicking diet. You can also do themes by the result, like curing emotional eating, curing hormonal imbalance, like those types of things. If you don't like the word cure, you can use another word. Okay, steps to guide, launch. This is number 3 now. So write the email, social post, direct messages. I do this in one go. I don't do it as I go. I do it and then we tweak it based on what people are clicking on, what they're not clicking on. But I set it all up in a go. So prepare the entire launch in advance rather than doing it day by day. You can't overdo the launch. That's what we keep finding. Like, we don't mind emailing you almost every single day if it's before a detox. Be educational, informational, and inspirational. All right. This is what we do at Wellness Pro Academy. I'm not going to get into that because most of you really just need to work on your offer, on what's in your detox, and work on what's in your upsell. And the upsell is your club. So wellnesspro.academy/offer. Type in best offer, all caps, and you get it for $97. This is 2.5 hours coaching with the team. You can pay a little bit more money and get coaching directly from me on your offer. At the end of that, we should both be super clear how much money is on the table, what your member cap is, what your biggest issues are going to be in launching your club. The detoxes should be within your club and then available for them to invite other members and available for you to sell to outside people. And that whole thing should work as a system because of that whole peak experience problem. All right. We're not writing and reflecting. Those of you who are interested in the certified detox coach, don't worry. That'll come up in your best offer ever session and we'll figure that out. We'll figure out your pricing structure for your detoxes. We'll figure out your pricing structure for your club or your upsell. We'll figure out if you already have courses. Who here already has courses but doesn't have a club? Who's teaching courses? Yeah. Okay. Yep. Huge mistake. Not a problem. I made it too. I promise. Every mistake you've ever made in your business or with your clients, chances are I have already made. Partially because I'm like a super overly ambitious person that's just had a lot of stuff over 20 years, both online and offline, right? So I've just seen a lot. So you'll schedule a chat. Either you'll come in WPA. Some of you will come in and want the detox certification. We'll help you prep your detox, launch, coach, get certified. So the way you're going to get certified is through coaching your detox. Right. What we know from yoga health coaching is the way people got certified was from coaching the habits. It's the only way we know that you know what you're doing. Included in all that is the whole business model I showed you guys before. Here's Jeremy. Some of you may have heard, we just released a podcast with Jeremy, our Ayurvedic educator. She says, WPA has been a game changer in helping me uncover my true strengths, align with my passion, and chart a clear path towards scaling my business to new heights. What sets WPA apart is its exceptional ability to translate personal clarity into tangible business growth strategies. To me, it's really important. What's more important than all that is like Jeremy's guiding a club and her members are getting results, right? And it's scalable, right? And she wants to double her club members in the next 4 months. And she has a business model that can handle that and do that. To me, that's really what's most important. And those of you who are just here because you want to do a detox with me, just go to yogidetox.com. There's cool bonuses right now where you get more training as wellness pros, the Ayurveda Constitution course, that intermittent fasting course with the detox. Our detox starts April 3rd, goes to the 24th. Obviously, anyone who's in the detox certification also gets passes to this for you and anyone else you're trying to train. Some of you have virtual assistants you're trying to train in this. They can come too if you're in the detox certification. Okay, I just got through the slides that I thought would only take me slightly less time, but I think we went in a little deeper. So that's all good. Questions. Brenda's asking how to get detox certification. Talk to Lori. Lori, do you want to put your link in the chat for people who are already in WPA who want to go into our detox certification? I'm so excited to create this with you guys because I know, there's just really a lot around the launch, right? there's a lot around the marketing and the launch. And then there's just so much around the crazy things that happen to people during a detox. Like I had this member, she owned a yoga studio and an online yoga streaming company. She's really great at business. And she's like, I need to get integrity with yoga practices. And like a week later, like she was at the bar drinking beer. She was like, I don't know what happened. And I'm like, I do. So there's just stuff like that like, you know, like just the reality and how not to like shame people for falling off the wagon and help them right where they're at with where they're trying to go. Yeah. Okay, good. Lori's got her link in the chat. All right. You guys can just, you know, if you want to use the hand raise function like Allie Morrison is demonstrating, it's down there in reactions on your Zoom panel, and you can just like click on that, open. And again, I know we only now have like 10 minutes for Q&A, but I'll stay on for however long, till the top of the hour. Allison, go ahead.
Hello. So glad to be here. And my question is, I know when I did my first cleanse 20 some years ago, I think I started with a 7-day. I've done 7-day, 14-day, 21-day, 28 days. Can you speak to what happens, what works, what's easiest starting out when you're leading people? I'd love to hear.
Yeah. So we do like ease in, going deep, ease out. And that's why it's 21 days. So it's not like people are in detox for 21 days. They're in the field. And some people will, you know, we have advanced people that will, like, I don't know if some of you guys in Club Thrive have noticed what's going on in the Club Thrive forum. There's all this stuff in the Club Thrive forum right now. And like, people are already doing their liver stone cleanses. Like, they're just like fired up, feeling the momentum. Like, you know, the mentors are already doing it. They're already building the field. So they'll just go in deeper, and I have no idea what will happen with them by like April 10th when like other people are just actually starting their 5-day fast mimicking diet or their 6-day liver stone flush. What I have found, because the ease-in process is prep time. So if you're doing a 7-day, like when are they prepping? How does that work? Like when are you easing out? Like when are you helping them emerge? Like Megan said, like it was so pivotal. It was like what I think our most popular session last October's detox was the emerge session. And that was like the most dynamic. Like, so if you don't have time after people have had a deep experience, if you don't have time for people to move through a healing crisis, then your detox is going to end. They're going to be in the middle of a healing crisis, which could look like buckets of snot. It could look like an allergic reaction. It could look like their skin blowing up. It could be them just being like, I'm a puddle. I can't work. Like, I'm a puddle. I can't think. Right. So it's like, if it's not built around what actually happens, then you'll just be fighting the system you created.
Really helpful. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Yeah, you bet. Tarna.
Hey, so I posted this in the chat too, but I was just wanting to get some clarification because I'm going to be leading my first detox in end of April, beginning of May. And, we were planning on doing the Kitchery cleanse. And like I'm listening to you, I was like, well, that's a very good point as far as that goes. So I obviously feel like I need some detox education. So do I need to do the one-on-one best offer ever coaching first if I'm not a WPA member in order to do the detox certification? I did have, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like our only way. And again, like we make the hard decisions up front that get you guys to the results, right? This is where the information doesn't equal transformation. So I'm not going to give people more information than will lead to them being able to transform their business and align with the results they want to get to their clients. So whenever we've made a decision like that, it's because we want to help you and not confuse you. So, yeah, that'll be much more effective. Now, to answer the Kitchery mono diet question, anyone who's ever guided at least 20 people through a Kitchery mono diet knows that at least a third of them will get constipated on Kitchery. That's a big number, right? And, why is that? Well, many of the people you're guiding are not, they're not vegetarians, and they haven't grown up digesting beans as their main form of protein. So the Ayurvedic Kitchery cleanse comes out of a Hindu Vedic Indian culture that uses mung beans as their go-to protein source. So their body has a different way of metabolizing that without getting constipated. The other thing is like most Westerners are somewhat dehydrated. I'm not talking about like superficial hydration, like they're drinking the water, right? But their tissue isn't hydrated. Their deep tissue isn't hydrated. And so you're going to have all sorts of toxic backup, whether that's like endocrine disrupting chemicals leaching into their bloodstream that aren't moving out through their GI tract, or out through their sweat, etc. Just how the body moves the molas out. So it uses feces, it uses urine, it uses menses, it uses sweat, right? So it's like if we're not moving stuff out, that'll be a problem. So what I have found, and this is where I think, Tarna, you're going to find, like, if you're pulled, anyone here who's here, and I'm so excited to see you all here, like, I'm guessing like 10% of you are dabbling and the other 90% of you are just like, no, I'm like super into like leading detoxes. I really want to do this. I want to incorporate, detoxes, challenges, resets into my business model as a wellness pro for all the reasons we talked about earlier, with all the symptoms, the mental health symptoms, the physical health symptoms, and the soul level symptoms that like you're wanting to make a really deep impact on that. There is a lot to learn in detox. I would say, to me, like, this part of the certification in terms of like what actually happens, I'm thinking a lot about knowing that wellness pros are going to come in with a lot of different types of training. There's going to be, functional medicine doctors. There's going to be nurses. There's going to be yoga teachers. There's going to be Ayurvedic medicine practitioners. There's going to be energy healers. There's going to be people who just use like essential oils and crystals. Like, there's going to be people with like huge spectrum, right, of background. And like, how do we do this in a way that all of your members say that, wow, I had an amazing breakthrough. I had no idea how good I could feel. If that's our metric, right, there's just a lot to kind of go through with the different types of detoxification diets. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a cheater answer here too, of like, what's really important is fasting time. So you could have all the right detox foods and recipes and all that, but if you don't have enough fasting time, you're not going to hit autophagy. If you don't hit autophagy, they're not going to release endocrine disrupting chemicals that are in their fat cells that are causing their cravings and a host of other issues, right? So there's just a bit to that. And there's a bit to, I think, the FAQs and like how to answer the questions. I hear you, Kim, like Khichdi detox was never the best for me either. Yeah, like I would get constipated. I'd also overeat because it's like fairly high carb. For those of us who have more kapha, like that can be somewhat less effective. So yeah, there's a bit of a lot to learn in there, just because the questions your members are going to have, you're going to want to be relaxed and confident in your answers. We'll share our guides to FAQs in the detox certification as well, just because that's going to be, just helpful to be like, well, this is what it says in the manual, right? Let's see if it's true for you. One big aha on autophagy happened for me with a client who was kapha prakriti, so very, this is Ayurvedic terminology, but just very, high in the more dense elements. So very, modern culture would say big boned, more big bone, thick skinned. And she found, when I started including in my like DIY, choose your own adventure, design your own adventure detox, is that she would fast for the first 24 hours. And then what happened is like within the next year, she'd fast for the first 48 hours. Like, she just found water fasting was like the easiest way for her to get into detox mode. And that was really eye-opening to me, because like I at the time didn't really have the willpower to do that. I still don't. That's why I teach fast mimicking diet instead of like just water fasting. It's like too hard for me just to water fast. For her, it was easy. And then the kapha would just like fall away, and this lighter, joyful, inspired, like less of like this heavy, weighed down version of herself would just start to emerge. And I just have learned so much from my clients over time, and in terms of like the whole cycle and whole circuit, including a lot of the clients that come in with active eating disorders, right? And like, how do we do this in a way that it's a nourishment experience, right? And not a deprivation experience? How do we like reprogram your neuroplasticity around true nourishment? And that's that to me, that's so powerful. Like, it will bring tears to my eyes, because when people really experience the nourishment of Mother Earth, they stop abusing themselves and their life takes on a whole other trajectory. Yeah, Jennifer.
Hey, Kate, is there a live event for the certification, or is this evergreen? And if it's live, when does it start?
Yeah, we're starting with our detox. So signing up now, and then we're coaching people like as we go. Yeah.
Okay. Good. Thank you.
Yeah. And then it is also, some people won't join WPA for 6 months and they'll sign up for the evergreen, but there'll always be there's always a live component to everything I do. Why? Community of belonging and becoming. So like we're becoming together. So like our certified detox community will have a whole other level of understanding in 6 months, right? A whole other level of understanding in a year, right? Because there's this accumulative wisdom. Life is accumulative. And when we can leverage accumulation like that, when we can have a business model that leverages accumulation, which is why we teach the club model, where like our members in Club Thrive, like I'm really looking at this now, like our members in Club Thrive, a lot of them are like, they're kind of exiting the heal track and they're entering the strategic life design track, which is all based on like investments, finance, on setting life goals, on having goals that are aligned to their family, on achieving a much bigger outcome, on like 10xing their experience. Like how do you really align your life to what you want to experience in your 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, or your 20s, 30s, 40s? And how do you align your children to that, right? That are really entering that track. It's because of that law of accumulation. So to me, it's going to be super exciting to see that enter in this detox certification. I'm just like holding on to the reins, being like, holy cow, here we go. It'll be really cool as we have, real numbers behind this with a huge test group of all your members doing it, and then crowdsourcing what's working, crowdsourcing. You'll be able to crowdsource each other. You'll be able to bring each other in as specialists into your detoxes. And that, well, just again, everything we do that takes the load off the leader and guides more members to results is what we're looking at in there. Yeah. Yay. All right. Anything else? Any comments? Anyone just want to unmute and say hi? You're all welcome to say whatever.
Hey, Kate, I'm going to unmute because I'm just so happy to see your face and be on a call with you. It's Paula. Hi.
Hi. So good to see you.
So beautiful. Look at you. You're so lovely looking. I haven't seen you in so long. I'm so excited about this. And I just want to, I've been trying to learn more about this Wellness Pro Academy. So I think I need to book a call with someone, because I feel like I'm back home all of a sudden here.
Yeah, I know. I used to see so many familiar faces from Yoga Health Coaching, like even seeing Dawn back and you and a few others. And it's like, Kim, it's like we know when we made the shift from Yoga Health Coaching to Wellness Pro Academy that there was like where am I? Who is it? Like, what's going on now? And now that we're, again, the pillar, the foundation, really just haven't gotten a lot smarter. I would say it wasn't a massive growth and depth experience in the last 24 months. And it's just fun. It's fun for me to see, like, one of the key metrics in WPA that I have is like how quickly people get return on investment. And that's really what we structured Wellness Pro Academy for. It's like, how quickly do people start to be able to build their club, build with the right business model where they know then where detoxes and challenges, they know where courses and classes fit into the larger business model. And then we just coach it's all like done with you, because we also know that it's hard to do things that we're less comfortable with together. So we tend to avoid them and not doing them, just like all of our clients. Like, it's hard for them to do a detox on their own, but it's easier together. Well, the same thing's true with like how to market your detox, or how to market your club, or how to do social media posts, or how to do sales calls. So now we're in Wellness Pro Academy doing all that as done with you. Live coaching done with you in real time, producing assets in real time on Zoom. What we found is this, it's just really fun. Like, things that are hard alone are just they're really fun to hang out and do together.
100%. Yeah. I need to look into it again and see. But just quickly, is the Your Best Offer Ever, is this the detox certification?
No, it's just our way of helping you figure out A, what's in your detox, B, really what we're going to start off is like the much bigger picture of your business and what is your core offer. Mm-hmm. And if you're listening to this and you're like, I have no idea. Like, because when I look back, I would have answered that question really differently 15 years ago when I had a yoga studio. I was an Ayurvedic medicine practitioner. I had a product line. I was doing panchakarma. In my year, I was flying around the country teaching workshops. I was flying around doing punch. I had like 20 offers, like, and they were all working. So I'm like, I have no idea what my best offer ever is, because there's a lot of ways that I'm transacting in the marketplace. There's a lot of services and products that I'm selling, and they're all offers that I have. And what we're looking at is like, no, who are you really working with? What is the offer that is the club? Like, what is the community of belonging and becoming? What are the core competencies that they need to know, that you need to teach? What are the core habits? What is your vibe or your personality type? And, you know, within all that, like, what are your core convictions? And that's how we help you build your best offer. Then within there, what we might know is that there's seasonal detoxes that are part of the offer for your members, but they're also an entry point for people to hear about you and have an experience of you that then they might end up in your club, right? And so that's really where we're starting with everybody, is it's like, we can't just talk about your detox, because you will all fall into the pit of guiding a whatever 7-day, 21-day peak experience, not having the business model to sustain that. And then your clients that signed up, patient students for your detox, will then be left unsupported in, you know, or being invited to upsell into the next thing. So instead, it's like, sell people once a year, right? Get them into your club, have the detoxes in there, launch your detoxes to people that should be in your club, so they can get into your club. First, they'll start in a detox and you'll upsell them into the club. So that would be like 2 sales in the year. But once they're in there, now you're back on 1 sale a year, because a year from then, they should just want to stay in your club. So now you're just resubscribe. Then they get the detoxes. They can share it with their friends. Now you get referrals. They have the detox experience. Maybe they get that free. Now you're selling them once a year. And now you're out of transactional, out of selling them the next course, out of selling them the next challenge, out of selling them the next one-on-one, out of selling them the, you know, whatever it is. You're out of that transactional cycle. And the sooner you get out of that transactional cycle, the more you could lead to results. And so that's why, I mean, you guys can hear the conviction in my voice, right? Like, this is like scar tissue, hard won conviction, not just on being a wellness pro for over 2 decades, but having coached literally at this point thousands of other wellness pros. Like, I know the core issues of a transactional business model. It will not give you the lifestyle you want. It's not scalable. It will not give you the impact you want. So it's going to strike out on all 3 of those things. So the detox is what we found. It's like, there's such a natural part of the club model. The club looks forward to them. The club is psyched because they can give away, like, our challenges. They're giving those, we give them free passes. They're giving those away as Christmas presents or holiday gifts or gifts from their business to other businesses, where they're not spending money. So we're saving them from spending money. And this is all baked into the club referral model. So that's really why we start with what is your core offer, right? How do we help you build that? How do we know when and what should be in your detoxes? That'll be a part of that. For anyone who's on this call, you're obviously interested in having your detoxes, resets, challenges as part of your annual club offering. Even though you came in here not thinking of having an annual club offering, and we know that, we get that.
I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hey, Lisa.
Hey, I have your books, and I did the best offer last summer.
Yeah. Oh wait, it didn't exist.
Or there was something like create your best offer.
Oh,
like,
lead your
club.
Lead your
club. Is that kind of the same thing? Because I had helped creating something just like what you're talking about.
Yes, potentially. Every time we do like think big, test small, fail fast, learn always from design thinking. So whenever we iterate and improve, it gets better. So even like the workbook on best offer ever it's a very different workbook than Lead Your Club. Either way, why don't you schedule with Lori, and she'll pick up. And if it makes sense for you to go into best offer ever, Lori, you can put your link in the chat again and get Lisa on your calendar, and you guys can figure out where Lisa should pick up from here, and maybe Paula as well, and anyone else. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm interested in the detox stuff. I've been following your primal fasting and kind of that whole thing. I've been working with some of that stuff, and I did an Ayurvedic certification course, and I think I have your course, I still have to go back to and look at some things that I took from you, that I signed up for. But yeah, I'm interested in maybe doing this, doing the detox certification and everything, and just seeing what that entails.
Yeah, great. Yeah.
So
yeah, Lori will be great to talk to.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Kim and then Tarna.
Hey, Kate. I have a quick question actually, and maybe it's going to help other people. I've never went into YHC and stuff because it was always very targeted to Ayurveda and very much around body tribe and stuff. But from I'm hearing now is that WPA, does it have a larger audience possibility? Like, if you know me, I do Dharma and I do art stuff, and it's all linked into one big thing. But I never put it into a club because I never taught that. I always feel like a mini-we that I'm actually doing a course on this and a course on that. But with WPA to actually reflect on how it's all wellness and how I can actually get one offer that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Okay. So it's like, this comes straight out of why I had to add a layer. So in business, there's pivoting and layering. So pivoting is where you pivot. Layer, like where you actually change, like anyone who plays basketball knows, like one foot stays where it is and then one foot goes in a new direction. What we did in Wellness Pro Academy is we added a layer up above yoga health coaching, which was it's very confusing when businesses do this. What happened was my dharma in helping yoga teachers and Ayurvedic practitioners, I outgrew that dharma, and we were naturally attracting doctors and nurses and shamans and gurus and guides and physical therapists, gym owners. We were naturally attracting them into yoga health coaching, right? But the first thing they would say to us is, well, I'm not a yoga teacher. And I'm like, oh, and I'm branded to yoga health coaching and yoga healer were my brands. We were helping on the inside all different sorts of people. So I already knew that the business model was working across all the industries in wellness. And then what happened to me personally is like I went primal. So primal is pre-Vedic. So my personal thought leadership and my personal wellness habits, they went into, again, layering. They went even more core to the human species and less differentiated into a specific culture. And so I was off brand and uncomfortable in my own skin for like 5 years. Like I was actually comfortable in my own skin. I was uncomfortable in my branded skin on the internet. Right. And so it took me, I like literally procrastinated from, I think it first came up in a mastermind group for me in 2016 that yoga health coaching was off brand. It took me till 2022. It's a long time, to just be in the like, but, I think deep down, I knew that it was going to be a really big deal for the community, and it really was a big deal. And now we're able to effectively target, like a lot of why Giselle's here and a lot of the new marketing team is coming in to help grow Wellness Pro Academy, is because we need to market to all of these different people, and they don't respond to the same marketing at all, but they all have the same core business issue of like guiding clients to results and being in a transactional business model instead of in a transformational business model. So now this is really what you'll see us doing in the next year. And what, Giselle and others on our team are learning is that like healers respond to really different marketing messages than physical therapists, who respond to really different marketing messages than doctors. So even though on the backside, they all need the same thing in terms of the business model, right? On the front side, it's really different targeted messages. And this kind of gets into, I just want to make this more useful for you guys. This is why in the beginning, when we were looking at these symptoms, and I was saying like with targeting, the more targeted you are with what your detox is doing for whom and your riches and niches, right? The more you're getting really clear on the value proposition of the detox to a specific targeted market that you tend to work with the most. You don't have to do what we're doing in Wellness Pro Academy and like work with all these different types of people. Like most of you, like, I know like one of my good friends from growing up, Sarah Pine, who hopefully is coming into Wellness Pro Academy in the next month. She has a waiting list of people that just have severe anaphylactic shock level allergies. Like that's a specific target market, right? And she's got a waiting list. Like she's booked out and she has a waiting list. So that's the riches and niches kind of a concept. And the more, Kim, like my guess is you're working with people with your art therapy, you're working with people that have trauma, you're working with people who feel more isolated, alone, and looking
don't know who they are. Actually, they're completely lost. They don't know what to do. They're lost. Like, I want to do something, but I don't know. But I've noticed that if their body is so freaking like clogged and toxic and everything, well, their brain is so foggy that they'll never get to who they are anyway. So that's why I went from physical to dharma to noticing that you need both. You can't achieve either without. So that's why.
Yeah, and with a club model, they'll realize there's other people like them, right? And Sarah and I went deep into this with her anaphylactic shock people. It's like when they know there's other people that also can't go on vacation because they're afraid of the, whatever, the peanuts on the airplane, right? Like there's a level of, it's not just me. Then they pivot out of victim mentality. Like there's a lot of things that start to accelerate client results just from the club model. And that's why it's so important. Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense. Thanks.
Yeah. Tarna.
Hey, so I just kind of going back to what Lisa was saying, and okay, so I did at Colorado last year.
Yay! That was really fun. I'm looking at coming. Did you do the one day after at?
I did. Yeah, I did. And I'm actually on the board now. And so I'm excited to hopefully maybe get to see you. I don't know, because it depends on how that works out because I'm in Grand Junction.
We're planning, David and I need to get back on, but we're going to plan another one-day training, one-day Wellness Pro. Basically where I do best offer ever live in person because that's what, that's, yeah.
Right. Yeah. And it was awesome. And it was very helpful. And so then I came back because I'm in Grand Junction. I'm on the opposite side. And I had a coaching meeting. And so I did do a lot of legwork on that best offer.
Great.
But I didn't join WPA because of finances, but I did the work. And then my plan was to launch in November, but then I had 2 deaths and a miscarriage and just all these things happened. And so anyway, so it's something I've still been like, oh, I want to do this, that, and then adding the Shirodara to my practice. And anyway, so I signed up just now while the podcast, while this is going, for the Detox coaching best offer ever. But I was wondering on that, because I see that, that would be something where the value of having somebody to keep you motivated, even though life happens, right? I haven't read Your Witch's Journal yet, but life happens and sometimes you just kind of still have to keep going.
Yeah.
And so, I definitely think that the club model, I see more and more and more and more of the value and the importance of it. But my question isn't that. My question is the work that I've done, the legwork that I've done already on the best offer that we created for me to be able to get my own group going. And the idea was to use that to be able to help fund my joining WPA.
Yeah.
But I never did get to launch that. So would I be able to share that legwork to kind of maybe in advance with my person that I'm scheduled with in order to kind of get more?
I just see like Lori wanting to press on mute. Go ahead, Lori.
Yeah, we can accelerate the progress of what you started already. I think she can go ahead and directly go to my calendar because I think she have done the one-page business plan if she came from Colorama last year in October, if I'm not mistaken. That was October. Yeah.
Yeah. And so if you two, once you get on Lori's calendar, then Lori, just send Tarna the best offer ever workbook and then go through that workbook.
I did that. Okay. I did that. So I met with, I can't remember her name now.
Yeah, no, wait, you did the October one. It's been
the October after that.
Yeah, we're going to give you the new one. Okay.
So it's either you met Mia or Abby, probably.
Maybe Abby. I think she had like an English kind of accent. Maybe.
That's Mia then. That's Mia.
Maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
But it was in like.
Yeah, Abby's just got a Canadian accent. You're going to love this, Kim. Abby's boyfriend is a professional hockey player. So we're going Canadian now. Yeah. But yeah, Tarna, meet with Lori. Once you're on her calendar, we'll send you the updated best offer ever workbook. That'll help a lot. Then what you and Lori are going to focus on, and I'm not saying this for Lori, I'm saying it for you and everyone else, is the whole how earn while you learn is going to work with your detox launch. Because it sounds like the problem isn't that you have any resistance to what you need to learn in Wellness Pro Academy. It's like, how are you going to finance this until you get return on investment? And so that's really what you just guys have to focus on is like, it's a marketing and sales problem. What we do in WPA is it is earn while you learn. So Lori will work it out. You guys will work it out to get you earning. The reason it is this way, back in 2011, I believe, when I had Yoga Healer Business Course, people were still launching, essentially their club, but they wouldn't focus enough on sales and marketing. They wouldn't do the hard things. And so that's why so much of what you need to do to be successful as a wellness pro is done with you in Wellness Pro Academy. It's just like, we know the things that you're going to need to do that you won't want to do. You'll just wish you had clients. You'll just wish you had a full roster, and you won't want to do the things of like people actually paying you the money. And that's where you end up in financial problems as a wellness pro, where you can't invest in what you want. So we know, and Wellness Pro Academy is built for those problems.
And I'm doing like trade shows and things like that. But okay, so I signed up for the detox but the one-on-one coaching that you have offered right now. And so it's got me on Cheryl's calendar for Sunday.
Okay. Great. Cheryl's here too.
Do we need to change that over then to Lori? Or how does,
Yeah, you can, I just sent you a direct message going into my calendar.
Okay.
Okay, great. Yay, Tarna. Well,
thank you.
Yeah, you betcha. Yeah. All right. Are we good? You guys are so attentive. I am psyched. We had great attendance. You guys are like all in on coaching people to detox. It's such a good career move. I think we're good. I don't see any more hands. We're happy. Megan.
Can I ask a question about the 21 day?
Yeah.
Hi, it's great to see you.
It's so good to see you.
I have to say, I just love the Witches Cancer Journal. I had to read it again. I read it once and then I just had to go back. It wrecked me in a way I loved. Anyway, I'm writing to you about it.
Thank you. And please, you guys, anyone who's bought that book and liked it, please leave a review on Amazon. It is like really, yes. Thank you.
I was too gushy. I have to make it shorter.
No, it's okay. You can go. It's a gushy kind of, I gushed out 4 pints of blood. It's a gushy kind of a book.
It's so good. Felt like sitting around the fire like an old wild woman. It was so good. So my question is, Megan touched on this before about how when I got to the end of the 21 days, so people were lost. So then I went and extended to 28 days detox and I called that rejuvenation. So, to sort of take care of that emerging, like the processes of emerging identity. But what I was wondering was, would you reckon, because it did actually kind of siphon off the energy from club. So I'm wondering now, should I send them back to club? But then what do I do with the people who've done the detox?
Upsell them. That's why you have your club.
Okay.
And so often people have to have an understanding, so that in the detox, like just like today, you'll notice the way I talk to the people who are not in Wellness Pro Academy. And then I talk to also the people who are in Wellness Pro Academy, and I created a sense of FOMO for people who aren't in it. And I did that very intentionally because they should fear of what they're missing out on, because they can waste their whole career being like isolated and alone and trying to figure things out on their own. And it's a really different way to live than if they're in with us. So I'm not just creating FOMO to for influence, like Robert Cialdini style of like in a manipulative behavior. Not that Cialdini's manipulative, but just it can be used manipulatively. It's not for that reason. It's because of like, we actually know what it's like to run your wellness career isolated and alone and not have a club model for your members and all that. The other thing I want to speak to with the 28 day, anything you can do to lower the bar from someone who's never done a detox to getting into your detox is going to be effective. And this is where like a lot of people with 7 days, like they might have higher enrollment, poor outcome, right? Where they have a lot of people enroll, but people never get started. So they never get the like, oh my gosh, I never knew how good I could feel, which is the metric we're aiming for, right? The one metric we're aiming for in detox is I never knew how good I could feel, right? The next thing we're really looking for in the business model is that they go into your club, because that's the only way they're going to sustain and build on those learnings. So the more we can do those two things, like we're spot on. So I wouldn't do a 28 day, because what'll happen is there's a whole other reason not to do it now. Now, even within our 21 day, as my team gets more effective at marketing, they're going to market it both as a 7 day and a 21 day. As we're hiring to have more bandwidth to be able to do this. And the reason why is because for some people, it is a deep dive in 7 days. It's 7 days to warm up. It's 7 days to eat out, but they're detox. So their resistance to doing, they might think like, I don't have 21 days. And it's like, great, we should market it to 7 days, right? Okay. Even though it's a 21-day experience where we've got you before and we've got you after. So with 28 days, I agree. Like, I mean, I'm thinking of this story, Megan. This woman signed up with me. This is when I was doing like online 3 times a season live detox. I did in March, I did in April, and in May. She did all 3. So I did a 90-day. Completely. She was an Ayurvedic medicine practitioner coming in. It completely changed her life. Like, she went so deep for so long in this cocoon with us. And she, by the time the May one rolled around, I was like, you can start coaching along with the mentors. Like she was so I hear you on this desire to give them what they really need instead of what they want, but you will lose every time. Yeah. Right. Because it's not enough people will come in.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. That's good. Thank you.
Yeah.
And great to see you, Kate.
So good to see you, Megan. Jennifer, are you back for one more question?
Yeah. So you had said we would be doing the cleanse, which I'm super excited to do the cleanse. Does that mean I need to also now register for the cleanse?
No, not if you're in. Okay. You're in WPA, so you should be getting free tickets anyways to that.
I'm not. I was yoga. I'm not WPA. I was yoga healer. It's been a minute.
Okay, you're yoga health coach. You should talk to Lori because you should do detox.
Okay, I scheduled time with her next week.
Yeah, come on back.
Yes. Yeah,
you'll only scale more.
When you had said at the beginning, being the leader and leading the charge, right? I realized I was in the best shape and physical, mental, emotional, all of it in Yoga Healer because you were the leader and I was with you all the time. So I miss you. So yes, I need to come back. You set the standard. So thank you.
Thank you.
Receive.
I'm receiving. I know it's so, and I just want to say, you guys, like what happens in my subtle physiology, like when Jennifer says that is I'm like, I still have this like deep trauma pattern that's like, but I'm not perfect, but I'm like, imposter syndrome, like all that bullshit. Right. But it's like really true. This leading from lifestyle, from being a member as well as a leader, of being true, like being vulnerable, like being exactly how it is and embodying growth and building the container for the clubs to evolve. And that's like when you guys take on the responsibility of like building the club, building the container for your club to evolve, it will take you beyond your wildest dreams. Right. Yeah. And I know, Jennifer, you're doing the same thing for your members, and that's what we really want to like, because I know Jennifer too, like she comes from a background in sales. She's a business powerhouse. Like, let's scale, like let's 10X, like let's take it to the next level because you have what it takes, and when you talk with Lori too, you may have an assistant that should be in here with us that can handle some of the admin or a marketing assistant that can handle some of the launch material and all that and should be in with the done with you stuff so you just don't get bogged down on the marketing side, right? But that you can leverage more on the leadership side.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Devyani, did I say it? How do I pronounce your name?
Devyani.
That's
right. Yeah. Thank you. I just want to thank you for this opportunity and for everybody that's here. I really found this amazingly in line with where I'm at right now. I just started as an Ayurvedic practitioner. I've been a yoga teacher for 15 years. But my whole life after university has just been like 10 years missionary, 10 years ashram. So starting out has been super tough for me. Because I haven't really been in the workforce full time at all. And even promoting myself is like super difficult.
Yeah.
So I was just like recently too, I was thinking I've been joining other detoxes and I was thinking, gosh, I could do this myself. And then also recently I've been finding the need for some kind of circle of women or some kind of club thing as well.
Yeah.
And so I'm just really glad to have stumbled on this and to join the Zoom call. And I think the Wellness Pros is something that I will definitely be looking more into to start with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just want to speak to your experience of when we're in a more spiritual or religious life, right? We're in a cloistered experience. That experience is as far from the marketplace as you can get. So there are polarities. So here's the marketplace. The marketplace, anyone, in any kind of developing country, right? You go to the marketplace, there's like everything is available. Like you've got like Gucci bags that are like off market. You've got drugs. You've got kids hawking toys. Like you've got everything under the sun. Everything under the sun is happening in the marketplace, and it's trading at market value in the marketplace. That by definition is the marketplace. Now, a cloistered environment, an ashram environment, missionary work is as far as you can get away from the marketplace. And often those marketplace needs are met by somebody else, where someone else is bringing in the food. Someone else is providing the shelter and doing the plumbing and all that. And you're serving within the cloistered society, right? And both of these things are part of the human spectrum. So we need all of the things, right? We need everything that's for sale in the marketplace, including the drugs. We need everything that's happening in the ashram, including the people who aren't going to the marketplace, And so I know for me, like studying with gurus like Sally Kempton, Craig Hamilton, people who lived in cloistered life, people who did 6-month silent meditation retreats, I am so grateful for them having spent the time in the cloistered environment, because then I got so much Shakti, I got so much deep teaching from their experience, right? But the problem is when we leave the market, when we leave the ashram and we're trying to transact in culture, we're trying to lead from our wellness lifestyle, we're in the marketplace. Like it or not, we're in the market, which means we have to sell, which means that we need people to sell to, which means we need to market, right? And to me, is there a way of doing this where you get to be exactly who you are? So in Wellness Pro Academy, we call that vibe. Like you get to be exactly who you are. You get to leverage your unique genius. You get to leverage the depth of transformation that the cloistered life has enabled you to experience, that so many humans will never experience, right? We enable you to like bring that forward into an offering, right? And that offering we call your best offer ever, right? And we teach you then like step by step how to do the hard things so that you will, like me, you will fall in love with marketing. What I'm doing right now, you guys, is marketing. This is marketing. When you talk to anyone on my team, that's sales. Like we want to do that in a way that you love it and it makes you better. We love it and it makes us better, right? And when we're doing that, it's all Dharma. So now instead of Dharma being what happens in the cloister or in the ashram or on the cushion or in the church, now that's actually happening in the market. And you get this feeling of resonance where like, and you just spoke to that so eloquently of like, I feel resonance when I'm with you guys. Like, yes, that's what we want to experience in our marketing. That's what we want to experience in our sales. That's what we want you to experience with the people who most need you, Devyani, to bring to them, right? What otherwise they don't have, and they need to find out about you. And that's marketing, right? And so if you don't do marketing, they don't find out. If you don't do sales, they don't get to guided transformation. And you don't get to be in an agreement, right? An offer is an agreement where you're saying like, I will offer you this and you will pay that. Why? Because we're in a modern economy, right? So we can't pay with like salt or beads, right? We pay with dollars, right? And so what we want is our offer to have a huge return on investment for any of our members. So in Club Thrive, we want people to say, this is the best money I spent this year. This is the best money I've ever invested in my life. That for me is a win, right? Their kids are healthier, they're all on track with the future. In Wellness Pro Academy, it's like, learn the only business model you ever need to learn as a wellness pro. And we're only going to get better at that with you. You're only going to get better at it with your members. Everything we learn, right? Everything that's hard for you to do, we're going to do with you because we're here to serve you, right? Just like you're here to serve your future clients. So thank you.
Thank you so much. And I also like that I wouldn't be alone,
Yeah.
Because I'm just completely clueless as like this whole thing, this whole business thing. And it's such a scary thing for me, Yeah. And then I've been trying at this for 3 years, trying to do something, trying to start something. And I've just been going in circles, you know?
Yeah. And I know a lot of people here have shared your experience, and like I've gone in circles a lot from time to time myself. The other thing I want to highlight in what Devyani's sharing is your clients feel the same way. All of you, all of your clients feel exactly like Devyani, right? Where they've tried this, they've tried that, they've bought this supplement, they've bought this course, they bought this online course, they tried this thing, right? They've all had that experience where they've tried it and it hasn't worked because you don't have the community of belonging and becoming, and you don't have a model where they can see through your sales and marketing process how to invest in the future they want to experience. So in Wellness Pro Academy, this is all one simple funnel, and it's hard work. I just want to be super clear. It's hard work. There's no way around the hard work. We take the hard work and say, like, we know it's hard. We're going to do it with you because it's more fun. And it's easier. Like, my daughter learned cryotherapy from doing it with me before she did it on her own. Now her friends do it with her, right? Now she's like the gateway drug for her friends to do cryotherapy, like to get in freezing cold water, right? Because it's easier to do it together. So her friends who've never done it alone do it with her, right? And that's how adversity habits work. So in Wellness Pro Academy, our adversity habits are mostly sales and marketing, because building your clubs and leading your clubs is the funnest work you will ever do. And we know that. We know that part's fun. We know. Even building your offers fun. Anything that's not sales and marketing for you is generally fun, right? Like those things that are hard, like we know it's hard, and there'll be tears with us, you guys. You will have tears with us. It's okay. We gotcha. We know. I cry too sometimes, right? It's like sometimes you just feel like nothing's working. Like we know, and the market's evolving, and now we have AI coming in. Like it's going to be weird for a little while. We're stronger together. There's no doubt. There's no doubt. And that you can leverage off what we're learning with a much bigger marketing team. That'll be really, really helpful to the current and future members of Wellness Pro Academy. Okay. I love you all. Thank you all for coming. Thank you for all doing the work in the world. Thank you for leading detoxes. However you're doing it, it's good. Namaste. Thanks to my team for coming. Really, really great to have you guys as support here. And I'll see you guys in a minute in a meeting, I'm sure. Okay. Thanks. Bye.
Are you a podcast listener ready to guide your wellness business to more profit? We have an exclusive offer just for you, introducing our Unique Abilities Profit Consultation. Sign up today at wellnesspro.academy/unique. Don't miss this opportunity to unlock your profit potential. During this personalized consultation, your expert coach will guide you to discover just how much money you're leaving on the table from an outdated business model. Say goodbye to trial and error and hello to tailored guidance that leverages your unique abilities. Your success coach will work closely with you to create a winning strategy that aligns with your strengths and vision. Don't let the challenges of running a wellness business hold you back from more profit any longer. Up-level your leadership with our actionable strategies. Overcome hurdles. Receive innovative solutions. Take that crucial step towards building the profitable wellness business you deserve. Schedule your free Unique Abilities Profit Consultation today. But hurry, this exclusive offer is only free for our valued podcast listeners. Don't wait. Unleash your unique abilities and unlock your true profit potential. It's time to make your mark in the world of wellness. Sign up today at wellnesspro.academy/unique. Namaste and have a great day.